Hey, hello, hello, hello. My, uh, Here we are, second day of February, Black History Month 2024. I'm coming with this book. You ain't gonna be able to see it because I'm using this virtual background. Um, it's called 100 Amazing Facts About the Negro with Complete Proof by J.A. Rodgers. Uh, he read he wrote some good ass books. I'm telling you. You got to get it. I'm gonna read a little bit. I picked slavery. You notice that when you try to write that word on the computer, it goes to enslave. Like, no, don't say that no more. Like, I don't know who these AI folks is, but I'm kind of tired of them telling me what I should be writing. I'm telling you, what's next? They're gonna tell you how to think next. They're already trying to get in your mind. Well, they have, because they said Neon Musk or whatever his name is, he got a chip in people's brain. I don't know. It may help, but everything they do to help turns into a evil plot to destroy the world. Okay. Uh, the word slave was originally applied to white people. It comes from Slav, a Russian people captured by the Germans. Huh. I guess, and it makes you wonder. They said they had slaves back in BC. The Egyptians enslaved the Israels or something. Maybe it was another word. See, we don't know. We really don't know. That was 2,000, 3,000 years ago. The first slaves held in the United States were not black, but white. They were Europeans, mostly British, who died like flies on the slave ships across. On one voyage, 1,100 perished out of 1,500. At another time, 350 out of 400. In Virginia, white servitude was for a limited period, but was sometimes extended to life. In the West Indies, particularly in the case of the Irish, it was for life. White people were sold in the United States up to 1826, 50 years after the signing of the Declaration of Independence. Andrew Johnson, President of the United States, was a runaway and was advertised for in the newspapers. Did you know that? I didn't know that. Look it up. Between 1526 and 1859, there were 33 slave revolts in the United States. Let's read that again. Between 1526 and 1859, there were 33 slave revolts. I keep saying revolts in the United States, one of which was headed by Nat Turner of Virginia in 1831. With only 6 companions, Turner set out to free the 3 million slaves. The United States Marines and 2 warships were sent against him after he had killed 55 whites and captured several plantations. The Seminoles, some Indians, I can't say the word, or runaways of mixed Indian and Negro descent of Florida, fought 3 wars with the United States to preserve their freedom. And I'm telling you something. When I realized that for a time, these Europeans They was fighting the Indians a very long time, for like 40 years, all the time, capturing and killing black people and making them slaves. And you notice Nat Turner, he had 6 companions, because see, as today, you can't trust everybody, especially black people. They will go back and tell on you in a minute if it's going to give them some money or some kind of compensation, and it will mess you all up. And even with 6 companions, he wanted to free the 3 million slaves. And you see what we're dealing with now. We have these black folks out here that's sucking up to white people, think they want to be white people, and they will mess you up if you try to help your people. In 1670, Virginia passed a law forbidding Negroes from buying white people. This was 51 years after the Negro had arrived in chains. The same law was repeated in 1748. Free Negroes bought white people in such numbers in Louisiana, that the state made a similar law in 1818. White people were kidnapped in British Isles at the rate of several thousands yearly in the 17th and 18th centuries and sold into slavery in America and the West Indies. Sometimes they were bootlegged as sold as Negroes. White Americans, North and South, were also kidnapped or seduced and sold as Negroes as late as 1859. One of the most celebrated cases of a white person sold as a Negro was Sally Miller, who was held in servitude in Louisiana for 26 years. Court after court ruled against her. Finally, her birth certificate was dug up in Germany and was freed by the Supreme Court in 1818. Yeah, they don't want us to know that. We don't have no movies about that. Okay. That's what I say about these, black producers and movie makers and own theaters and all this stuff. Why you ain't making movies about that, huh? In 1860, there was 487,000 free Negroes in the United States, some of them whom owned slaves. Now, when you hear these white people talking about, oh yeah, black people own slaves too, oh big deal. What that's supposed to mean? How many went across the ocean to Africa and stole some slaves, stole some people and made them slaves? I always have to remember that. They weren't slaves till they got here and was put in chains and threatened with their life. C.D. Wilson estimates that there were 6,230 Negro slaveholders. The tax returns of Charleston, South Carolina from 1860 showed 132 Negro slaveholders with 390 slaves. The Negro slaveholders, like the white ones, fought to keep their chattels in the Civil War. Yeah. So that's why we shouldn't be, mortified or surprised when we see black people with Confederate flags and mingling with the white racists and stuff. We shouldn't be surprised. We even try to figure out why. They just well. The Brazilian Emancipation Proclamation in 1888 freed all the slaves on the day of promulgation. The British Emancipation of 1834. Not until 4 years later, while the American Emancipation Proclamation of 1863, when issued, freed those slaves whom Abraham Lincoln had no power to free, and permitted the continued enslavement of those whom he had the power to free. In Arabia and parts of North Africa, white persons, mostly women, are still held as slaves, as are many Negroes. Sometimes the owners of these white slaves are Negroes. Wow. Ain't that something? You know, we need to start really paying attention to uh, the real history, because it will help you to stand up for truth. And don't be swayed by all this propaganda that's going on out here. Well, thank you, and have a good day. Keep the peace between your ears and stay strong. All right. You all have a wonderful day again. And I have a series going on with different people on Black History Month. My take. Okay. Comment, subscribe, and let me know how you feel. Thank you.